Well, up or down, side to side. I don't know. Where's Bitcoin going? There's a lot of global tensions happening. We'll break that down. What does that mean for BTC? If history is any sort of indicator, we should see Bitcoin skyrocket to like 125K over the next couple of weeks. Will it actually happen? And when the hell is altcoin season going to come around? When I say altcoin season, I mean like the parabolic, oh my God, I woke up, my portfolio 2x overnight. I'm screenshotting and sending it to all my friends and family, booking trips I can't afford yet, and everything goes up. When is that going to happen? We're going to talk about that. Also, the president is at it again. Just continues to be the #1 influencer in all of crypto, and he doesn't even have a YouTube channel. What has he done now? We're going to talk about that. Also, massive XRP news. Who do they just bag in Germany for custody? We're going to talk about that. That's pretty big news. We'll talk a little bit about Circle. And for the Patreon members, another 40x cooker yesterday. Well, leading into today. Hopefully y'all took some profits and made some money. We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage it all up in a fun, sexy way, and well, nice rally from Bitcoin. Are we heading back to new all-time highs? You know what? I saw the breakout, 103 to 105, now 106, and
insane.
It's I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but man, I got the feels, man. I got the feels. I got the chills, the goosebumps, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
I feel the tides are turning.
The tides are churning.
Tides are turning, and you know what? Well. I think new all-time highs is around the corner. It's not the first time I've said it, but it's also not the first time we've hit new all-time highs, and I've been right. So hey, hopefully we're here
Bro
again.
Clock is right twice a day.
You say bro clock?
Yeah. What? You haven't heard that saying?
No, I haven't.
You've never heard the saying, a broke clock is right twice a day?
Oh, they say bro.
No, broke clock.
Oh, they say bro clock. Like a bro clock, bro.
Yeah. Oh, that one's I got it ordered on Amazon.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, I've never seen a bro clock before. Did I miss out? I'm like,
no.
Because I will order one right now.
Yeah. So guys, those of you that were in the Sistine trading yesterday, we said we were gonna do a $50 giveaway. So that person, you know who you are. I don't want to say his name just in case he's not here and then someone decides to change their name to the name I'm going to say. So if you're the winner from yesterday's chat, Sistine chat, say hello, say I won, say something, and then we'll make sure we get you your $50 over to you today. Speaking of that, today we're doing the same thing. We're going to be sending all of you over to the Sistine trading channel where today will be me and Forrest. So we're going to do a dual action on the trading today. Should be a lot of fun. And I think I'm going to do another giveaway there. And so make sure to join us. If you just stay in the stream to the very end, it'll automatically redirect you. If not, just go to Sistine Trading on YouTube. And yeah, come join us at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, let's open up with, well, why is Bitcoin pumping? And what are some of the global macro tensions? You know, that is in the title. Well, now, we're not a typical news show like CNN or Fox, but, you know, this...
We're better. We're better than them, man.
Yes. I mean, like the content.
Come on now, bro.
My bad, dude.
Need that stale media up in here.
So Steven said he looked for the channel, couldn't find it. Do me a favor, Rob. Will you put the exact link for the Sistine YouTube channel? Okay, so we pull up the laptop or the computer here. We can take a look. This is from Zelensky. Now, you might have heard on the news that, hey, Ukraine bummed the crap out of Russia and took out like 40 of their top, whatever. So this was him. Today, a brilliant operation was carried out on enemy territory. They're talking about, hey, significant losses, entirely justified. It took 1.5 years of planning, organization. And then you had this as well. Russia is now framing the airfield attacks as Pearl Harbor. And well, the reason they said that is because they went to the U.S. and said, well, what did you guys do after Pearl Harbor? And well, if you know history, they dropped 2 atomic bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And so a lot of tensions, a lot of people on edge. What the hell is going to happen? And again, you saw Bitcoin kind of rally, and not to make light of the situation or say, hey, you know, making money is more important than what's going on over there. But at the end of the day, this is a crypto show, and we talk about how this affects our space and how we can make sure we're positioned to not get completely washed out or lose all of our money. And then this one as well to kind of put a bow on the macro. Trump said he will speak to President Xi Jinping on Friday. That's the president of China. And so a lot of economic things in limbo. Ukraine, Russia, China, tariffs. So a lot of indecision, a lot of volatility in the markets. Bitcoin's performing fairly nicely. Rob, I don't want to sound insensitive when I say this, but is something like global war, global tensions, now that we've seen kind of what Bitcoin's price has done the last year and a half, is it safe to say that you want to be in Bitcoin when stuff like this goes down?
I mean, when you get into uncertainties, it calls into question, what is the best asset to be in, right? I would feel comfortable if we went to war, or if I have dollars. I don't think that the U.S. is going to collapse economically. The banks are going to shut down. But, we are one of, hundreds of other countries globally, and we have the privilege of having the world reserve currency. So the likelihood of having an economic collapse on our own dollar is pretty far-fetched at this current state. Anything can happen. You never know. But, if you live abroad in other countries, I would just say to you, like, hey, do you feel comfortable that nothing will ever happen to the banking system? Nothing will ever happen to that bank account that you're in. Nothing will ever happen to the currency that you use. I mean, growing up, me being Portuguese, we used the Portuguese, currency. And then I'm sure, Rocco, did y'all have a currency over there in Italy? I'm sure you did before we got to the euro.
Yeah, it was a San Marzano tomato.
What? Yeah.
Look, listen, before Rocco gets on the mic here, listen.
Before is better before I started, yes. Go for it.
He said, David, you're absolutely right, because his mic's not on. So
what is your currency?
There he is.
Camels?
This is the voice.
There's the voice.
Understand
Yeah.
gotta be.
But in case you missed it, he said, David, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you for pointing that out.
There was an Italian currency before.
Yeah, the lira was before.
The lira, okay.
Like in Turkey.
So-
lira, Turkey.
Yeah, so it's the same in Portugal. And so anyways, even the established countries got rid of their own currency. Now, was there a loss of value? Did they exchange over from one currency to the other? I'll tell you what, Portugal, they got hit hard because the euro, the rest of the countries, their economy was a lot stronger. The EU in its entirety had a stronger economy than Portugal. So anyways, the people of Portugal ended up making a very low wage compared to the rest of EU, and items that people were trying to buy were extremely overpriced. And so basically goods became out of people's range or reach after you went to the euro. So you would have to ask yourself, like, you know what, do you feel comfortable that the government will never change anything about your monetary policy, which we've seen how much printing we've had, and it's just been nothing but inflation in every country across the world. So with that said, just go with Bitcoin, dude. No matter where, even in the U.S.
You are
because you never know.
more and more like Michael Saylor.
Dude, I mean, you got to, dude. I mean, you have to.
Sound like Michael Saylor?
No, I mean, you got to. You genuinely have to. If you are holding money for any period of time longer than 2 years, my God, put it in. If you don't put it in Bitcoin for some weird reason, you don't believe in Bitcoin, then at least put it into like gold or like S&P 500 or retirement. Do something, because the worst thing you can do is just let your money erode away by just keeping it in a checking account, or God forbid, even worse, Bank of America's savings account, which you get 0.01 interest. It just mathematically does not make any sense. I don't really know. But.
You know any Korean words?
No.
I do. 안녕하세요. It means hello. Why am I saying hello? 안녕하세요 to the new South Korea pro-Bitcoin president. You can laugh all you want, but my friends from South Korea taught me that. Also taught me some bad words. Also taught me how to say you're welcome, which is 감사합니다. Why are you laughing? Just because I'm cultured? Jesus. Anyway, South Korea elects pro-Bitcoin president. Lee Jae-myung has officially won the presidency and is bringing a bold crypto agenda. He's pledged to legalize spot Bitcoin ETFs and invest state pension funds into BTC. Let's hear a little bit about Mr. Jae-myung. He targets the youth vote with push for crypto ETFs and won-backed stablecoins. If you're not familiar, won is the Korean currency. As Korea's election,
I thought Juan was the homie things to work with.
Wow, interesting. Okay. As Korea's election nears, presidential hopefuls are ramping up their cryptocurrency policies, positioning digital assets. Oh, okay. Some context. This article was put out before he won the election. Okay, before he won the election. So this was a narrative. This was they were saying people are gearing up, and they're positioning digital assets as key to future economic growth that will support young people in building their wealth. The presidential frontrunner, Lee, who is now the president, has outlined plans to establish an integrated monitoring system and lower transaction costs, aiming to provide investors with a regulated, accessible entry into cryptocurrencies. Lee's campaign argues that including digital assets in diversified portfolios is crucial for effective hedging against their unique volatility, which differs from traditional assets such as stocks and bonds. Are we going to have another presidential KOL here globally with the president here of South Korea? Rob, I want to get your thoughts, and we're going to bring on our guest, Magic. Rob, what are your thoughts here, my friends? Feel free to speak any Korean if you know it.
Where did you learn? I won't even ask.
It's just hello and you're welcome.
Okay.
And also, if you want to say F, it's a Shiba.
Gracias. All right, so
Magic is dying backstage. Okay, go ahead, Robin. Yeah. You have no idea what you're going to say.
I did, but I lost it. Okay, so Korea has been very, very progressive. They've been at the forefront of crypto. You know, there was driver's license that were tokenized and put on chain. That they were one of the first countries to do that as well. And so to see them leading the charge when it comes to Southeast Asia and ETFs and being progressive on crypto, not surprised. You know, at the conferences, we do see a lot of Korean presence there, and a lot of people underestimate the size of the economy that is South Korea
And the exchanges.
Yeah, and the exchanges. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's good, man. I think that South Korea, if the U.S. doesn't hurry up with its progressive policy for
Listen, our president is busy making apps here, okay?
Yes, yeah. No, but prior to Trump taking office, it seemed like South Korea was going to be between Singapore, Hong Kong, and South Korea. They were the front runners for driving the crypto adoption, whether it came from exchanges, wallets, technology, where just companies are based out of. It seemed like kind of the place to be. And so hopefully the U.S. kind of takes the lion's share. I mean, I selfishly would like that here, but
I love lions. Yeah. King of the jungle. Speaking of king of the jungle, this man is king of the charts. And so a big annyeonghaseyo to Magic Internet Money. Why are you laughing?
I can't, bro.
Why are you laughing?
It's
What's
funny
up, Magic?
to see.
Magic.
The sound just doesn't match up.
I can't be cultured?
No, it's great. I'm not offended at all. I'm not, so
I'm not
I enjoy
offended.
it.
I'm just surprised.
This guy says
just
gracias.
genuinely surprised.
Anyways, hi Magic. How are you?
I'm doing great. Much better this week. We got internet again, so it's nice.
We missed you last week, man. It's like, you have that date night, and this is gonna sound weird, and then you look forward to it, and then you miss it. You're like, man, I missed that date night. Well, we miss you having you on the show, but we're happy to have you on today, Magic. We saw Bitcoin rally off of some global macro uncertainty. I know you're not a big pattern guy, but on the weekly, at least, I do trade patterns. On the weekly, looks like a big bull flag is printing for BTC, which does typically have a probability of breaking to the upside. What are you seeing on the Bitcoin chart there, Magic? And if, obviously we don't have a magic 8-ball here, but if you could, take a educated guess as far as where do you think Bitcoin is going next, up or down? That is kind of the title of the thumbnail. What are your thoughts?
Let's go with both. I'll kind of tell you why. Let's see. On the weekly, since you mentioned it, that is actually going to be the most pertinent time frame for me in making that statement that I would believe that there's going to be up and down probably. Cruising out actually to something like this is probably going to be a little more helpful. you don't get a lot of inside bars in terms of like Bitcoin on a weekly chart. And so what I mean by that is if we go to a weekly, I think we've had 55 of them in the last 400 weekly candles because I went back and I do the stats on them. So you don't get a ton of them. And you actually have only gotten 2 in a row 3 times in that length of period. So it's about a 5% of a 14% chance that you're going to see Bitcoin either remain range bound or at least not make a new low. And so, what I mean by an inside bar, for anyone that's wondering, is if you notice here on the weekly, you've got your candle did not make a new high or a new low. It's very uncommon that Bitcoin does this. Generally, you see it after like a big move down, like this is an inside bar technically. So, when you're looking at things like that, we know statistically speaking, we're more likely to either take 103,000 or take out the high at 110. And there's a really easy way to kind of tell. It improves the statistics of making a new high or a new low quite a bit based off of something as simple as the previous week's EQ, meaning that we're just going to measure this right here and say, okay, there's my 50% mark. We need to be above it. And you can see that's what we're butting up against right now. If you go to the hourly chart, extra clean, right? If you get above 106,905, I really do start to favor that you're going to try to take out 110 because we know statistically the probabilities are that we're going to make a either new high or new low based on this information right here. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. And if you're above 106,905, the likelihood of a new high comes in much higher. You can go back and look through lots of examples, which I went ahead and did for you guys. That way people can actually see what I mean by this. When you go to like an hourly, you can find these inside bars. This is the last time we had one here. And let's actually turn this off and turn on the weekly so that we can actually denote where the weekly open is. Okay, so this was an inside bar. This is your new week. And you can see that if you're below the EQ, you're more likely to make a low. But the moment you reclaim the EQ, which this is a really good example, once you're back above, you make a new high. So you took out both the low and the high in this case. So that's the expectation. If we're above that 106 number right here, well, we'll call it 107 because we'll just round up, $107,000, I'm expecting to see probably a new all-time high. And those targets for me come in right around 114 to like 116, give or take. They are based off of some halving data that I put together. And I think I sent it to you in a text. But this would be kind of my next major area is about 114 to probably 116. It's kind of a zone. And I would be looking at that as a tradable region. In terms of where we are then, so what do I do with this information if we're not making a new high or a new low and we're right in the middle? Is I'm being pretty patient because I know that statistically we're very likely to make either a new low below 103 or a new high above 110. And I'm looking to trade basically at these levels, not and nowhere else. If you're trading here, you're really just straddling yourself and setting yourself up for maybe potentially some pain. Beneath you, you have the monthly pivot as well. We know these hit at a mid 70% strike rate. We missed last month, so we rarely miss more than a few in a row. And we have front ran it a little bit. So if Bitcoin comes down and actually does make a new low inside this week, takes out last week's low, that's a pretty crucial area to hang on to. That like 103 down to, you could probably say 100,000. Really big area because if you look, there's really nothing beneath us right here. This whole rally has been pretty extreme. And if we give this, region of support up, you're looking all the way down, in my opinion, back to like the low 90s, maybe high 80s. And that would be painful for people, but it's still a higher low. That would actually not really concern me too much. I would put us right in line with where we need to be. And we'd still be holding on to things like our 60-day average right here at 88,120. So things would still be just fine. It wouldn't actually break anything in doing so. But yeah, I mean, that's Bitcoin in a nutshell. Very simple chart right now. And just kind of playing the waiting game, looking to see what we're going to get.
Awesome. Magic. I'm looking at ETH and it's like, I feel like we're starting to see some life, it has these spurts, gets these runs while Bitcoin's kind of flat. It, runs. Anything on the ETH chart that's giving you some hope that, hey, this thing's ready to break out? It's been a while, right? We saw something, well, not something similar, but Bitcoin really had a long cool off period after the ETF. ETH has done that times two as far as the cool off period. But I'm in the camp it's eventually going to rally. What does the chart look like to you? Are we close to that based on like market structure? Or what are you seeing on the ETH chart?
Yeah. So in terms of ETH, this was kind of the box. We said that if we were going to dip below, which we did, we'd want to see a quick recovery, and that bottoms never look good. And we've made the jokes about that. And this one definitely didn't look that great. You found your way back into this is a quarterly range here. So this is all that is I've just taken the candle from prior range data and just divided it out.
Magic,
so there's
this is
your
on
low.
the weekly, correct?
Yeah, we're on the weekly chart right now. It's just easier to kind of see.
Yeah.
But so when we're looking at this, you can see we found our way back inside of where we need to be. And we had a key low here from about 3 months ago. And I'll get rid of this so that we can all kind of see it. I've been talking about the quarter two low of 2024 for I don't know how long now. People are probably tired of seeing it on my chart. But this was the key low to hold on to. And it's going to be kind of the key low to reclaim and live above on, like, say, even a monthly basis. Even on a monthly, you can see this is very well respected, and we need to claim it. There is a target above us here at the gold pocket. There's a monthly naked point of control up there, if I recall, but also your yearly average is up there, and you interact with that quite a bit throughout the year since it's relevant. But in this case, that would be kind of a major resistance zone for me. This being, if we clear it, we want to see this area holding as support. We want to see it chopping around on top of it and building back up to put pressure on that level. So ETH can still rally, and I think it probably will rally up to like that 3K to 3,200 zone, this little like box here. But that's going to be kind of the ultimate test is, what happens after we come in contact with something like that. If it fails and it comes back down and takes out these lows, you're likely to retrace a lot of that move, at least down in like the sub 2K lane and like 1,800 again. But if it can find structure here, continue the higher lows and put pressure on there, that's where you can really see a breakout. And people will say, everybody doubted Ethereum and it's making all-time highs. I think it happens above about 3,000 to 3,200. Not until then, though, to be upfront with you. And the chart looks way different if that move happens. So, like Robin's going to hate it.
I love it
because
tell me more.
If we go to the monthly chart, I'm going to take this off. You've got really nice higher low structure. You've got a pretty well-defined resistance here. And if, it takes out that like 3,200 range, we just talked about, like, I'm not a huge pattern guy, but you'd be building out a very large structure here at resistance. And that would look more like accumulation under resistance than it would anything. However, that all changes back below this like $1,800 zone. Like you start losing this low that you're putting in at any point, you're in trouble. This thing's probably coming all the way back down into like this area, maybe even lower over time. And this starts to look like a dead heartbeat eventually, potential, so I don't think that's the case. There's no reason to suspect that as of now, but that's the issue. So 2,800 is really important, but the real resistance to me is up there around 32. And if it's cleared, I mean, like I said, it's putting pressure on, making higher lows. It's doing what it needs to do. It's just boring people to death. Yeah. So
not me. Well,
I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder and lightning, but it's coming down out here.
I could not. I don't like, I'm a sunny guy, I'm the kind of guy where weather affects my mood. So when I was living in Sweden, it was like the winter time, like no sunlight, like 3 hours. I was about as depressed as anyone could be. It was terrible. So I don't know why I felt the need to mention that. But anyways, Magic, if you have time, I like to ask you for one more chart. Hyperliquid has just been crushing it. They had that hack thing a few weeks ago. It got down to $13, and this thing is crushing numbers. The token's crushing it. Can we take a peek at Hyperliquid?
Sure. Do you know what chart is best for it? Like what has the most data? Would it be XC potentially? Nope. It looks like it was going to be KuCoin of all charts. All right.
Here, I'll look with you, Magic.
We'll take it.
KuCoin. Okay, you're gonna go KuCoin. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to December 24. Is it relatively new?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm obviously not up to date on my new coins that come out. I'm kind of an old curmudgeon. Not a lot of data here. Not a bad thing, though. Very obvious that this quarter is doing good things after I assume this is what you were speaking about with the hack.
Yep.
But that aside, I mean, based on where you are, as long as you're maintaining the last quarter's high here at $28.47, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't, make a move above 42.25 here from the 36.66 that it's at. And then it's a question of, where's this thing land? But in general, this is a good sign. You've literally wiped everyone out on this candle.
Yes.
Took out the all-time lows and it'll take out the all-time highs. Very reminiscent of what we just looked at with Bitcoin, where we said, well, we had an inside bar, because technically this is an inside bar. And now it's taken out both the low and the high of it. But in this case, it's all-time low, all-time high. It's going to go for that. But yeah, I mean, 28.47, there's really not a lot to go off of here. But, if you give up this like support zone, you've got a nice, I can't believe it's even generating a yearly pivot, but I guess it's going off of data from last year. Yeah, I mean, you'd almost have to. So if you give up 28.47, things don't look, it's not the end of the world. But I don't have as much faith in things like this as, maybe some other people. But to me, I always look at things and I say, where would be the gold pocket, and it lines up nicely with like your quarterly average. So to me, as long as it's maintaining this last quarterly high here, you're good. If it loses that, I'm really not interested until about $20 again, maybe a little lower. Which I guess that's a sizable dip when you think about $8 on 28. What's that put you at? Like 2 out of 7, so somewhere around like 30%. But yeah, I would expect this to probably make a new high first. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. And the first sign of weakness would be below 28.47, and indicating that this all-time high is going to stay for at least a while. But as of right now, I just would expect it to make new all-time highs. I don't see why it wouldn't. I can't imagine there's anything up here in terms of like sell pressure that has been built up historically, because there's just no data. So, yeah,
Cool.
I mean, it's a new chart, but the pathway seems pretty obvious to me.
Yeah, sorry. I know I kind of threw that at you last minute, Magic. I apologize. But we're going to share some news on that, and so I want to kind of get your thoughts on where the price action in the chart was. So, cool. And then Magic. Anything else? Any charts that you are kind of eyeballing? Any some insight you want to give?
The only one I've been keeping an eye on is Link and versus XRP, and I am just shocked at how XRP is just decimated Link in comparison, because I was looking at Link just to see what's going on with it, because coming into this cycle I was a big Link guy. Now it's looking the opposite. So that's the only thing I've been looking at here recently. And I don't do a lot of alts, so yeah, this was the only one that I was kind of like running through in my mind going, that is surprising. So if anyone's in the comments and you're fans of either one or both, very surprising to see Link top out here and then make its way all the way back down into this region. So
yeah, that's pretty ugly, man.
Yeah, it wasn't on my bingo card for this cycle, but it is what it is. Crypto, every cycle is a little different, it seems like, especially with the coins. And so it's just one of those things where kind of just shows you that you really can't marry something and say that what's going to happen, because truthfully, none of us do.
Very true. I married my wife and I had no idea what the hell I was getting myself into, but I love my wife. So anyways, guys, if you want more Magic Internet money, highly recommend you go join his Discord. We're going to prompt that into the chat. If you enjoy Magic, he comes on our show every single Tuesday. And so Magic, we appreciate you as always. Thanks for joining us, brother. And real quick, if I let you go, I got to get your thoughts on this because I lost my co-host for a second here. President Trump will reportedly be launching a crypto wallet and trading app. Would you use it? Rocco pointed out that the numbers here, 1776, which is when the U.S. Was founded or born, and then 7/4, July 4th. And so, Magic, Are you excited? Are you nervous? Will you join the wait list?
Man, I probably won't join the wait list. I'll wait to see what it's all about. I'm always a little bit hesitant when something new like that gets launched, especially if the government in any way, shape, or form is involved. And I don't know that it is, because I assume this is like him doing it privately.
It says, I think his Trump Media Company, which is, he divested apparently. It's ran by his kids, but it's still got the Trump name behind it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it'll do well, as long as it's not like a Robinhood scenario where you're just trading it and you can't actually like take your Bitcoin and own it off. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm talking about, but I think with Robinhood, you can't actually like move the crypto once you
Yes.
purchase it on there.
Yeah.
So as long as it's
think
not
that's
something like that,
changing,
I'm not opposed to it. Is it?
I think so. Or they started rolling it out, but yeah, you can't withdraw it. Everything's got to stay in the platform.
No. Well, yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know enough information, but I do think that him letting them put his name behind it, especially, it brings a lot of awareness to the space and to the opportunities that are there to become more legitimate, I guess is the way to put it. Because now you have real large entities that have big oversight and, you know, lots of eyeballs on them trying to get involved and do things to make it easier for people to get involved in the markets. So I'll never hate on that as long as they're doing it in good faith, of course.
Yeah, and hopefully they paid some good money for some devs, because God forbid there's like a bug in that wallet and people lose their money.
Oh man,
there's gonna be some ruckus in Congress. It's not gonna be pretty. Yeah. So
there'll be the left will be kind of pining for that, I imagine. Actually,
Yeah.
they'll be loving that. They'll be actively trying to make that happen, I assume. But
probably.
it is what it is. So
Unfortunately.
maybe that's why I wait. Yeah, well, that means it's where we live. So
We're all just collateral
Well.
damage, my friend. I am getting
I heard
Magic.
Go
I'm
ahead.
getting corrected in the chat. You can move it off of Robinhood now into your own storage
cool.
and exchange. But I know that prior, when they first rolled it out, you couldn't do that. And so, yeah. So chat, thank you very much. And Magic also, 감사합니다, which means thank you in Korean. So we'll see you next week. Maybe I'll speak to you in Greek or Italian. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But thank you so much. And we'll see you next week, Magic. Take care.
We'll see. Thank you.
All right. Where's what happened to my co-host? You guys, I feel so lonely. I have to swear. Robin, wake up. Where are you? I need you to laugh at my jokes. All right. Okay, I can't show that joke because I can't be the only one laughing. Oh, Rocco. What's up, Rocco?
Hey, you got us. Don't worry about it, okay?
You're a good man, Rocco.
We're going to take care of you. I'll bring you some Marzano tomato, like you said.
You can pay me in the Marzanos.
Some Marzano.
You know, San Marzano tomatoes are the Wagyu of tomatoes. I know that for a fact. We did a blind taste test. I was working at an Italian restaurant. I'm not even trying to be funny. We had a pizza with San Marzano tomato sauce, and we had a pizza with regular tomato sauce. And that San Marzano, man, it's got this tinge of sweetness. It's so good.
That's good. I don't have to do a blindfold San Marzano test.
Is your mic on, Rocco? Because I don't know if I'm hearing you through the production room or I'm hearing you through
It
the
should be on.
speakers.
Maybe it's very low.
There we
Yeah.
go. Okay, perfect. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so since you're on the mic here,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on Trump launching?
What a great idea. I love it. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to get burned. Hopefully the things goes on and then stays on.
Like I told
And,
Magic.
hey,
Can you
no,
imagine if something happens?
I heard that you're going to get some Melania airdrop.
Maybe, but they're definitely doing, I think they said $1 million in Trump token. Oh, yeah. Here. $1 million in Trump rewards. Man, I'm so excited. This is insane. Like I said, the president of the United States is the largest freaking influencer.
Well, the positive on that is going to bring attention to the crypto ecosystem. So
Yeah.
overall, it's good.
Yeah. Kind of what Magic was saying. Yeah, I agree. I still think it's a bad look. I don't know, man. Maybe it's me. I don't know, but yeah. All right.
Well, but 4 years ago, you can even think about something about it, like
Yeah.
happening. So is everything bad? Bad publicity is even good publicity. So at this
Yeah.
point, so-
We've definitely come a long way. So,
Yeah.
all right. Speaking of coming a long way, BlackRock has come a long way, including institutions. Take a listen. This is Jay Jacobs on CNBC. Listen to what he had to say about investors and Bitcoin.
All the offerings out there with regard to gaining exposure for specific cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin. You manage one of the bigger ones, one of the bigger funds out there. Other providers also have, Bitcoin-related ETFs. Just how important is this model becoming for advisors to maybe allocate towards cryptocurrencies?
Well, we're seeing a lot of advisors have started that educational journey around what is Bitcoin and what is the role that it could play in portfolios. And I think what's really spurred this along is two things. One is their clients are asking them about Bitcoin, particularly millennial clients who have been digital asset native. And then secondly, in this environment where you have more global uncertainty there's more interest in assets that behave differently from traditional assets like gold and like Bitcoin that are a bit more of diversifiers in a portfolio.
Guys, we're in the middle of a narrative shift. Like it's happening. You know, we can sit here and talk about it. Yeah, we have some clout on X and YouTube, but you're talking about the world's largest fund manager, right? The company that the US government called on to help bail them out in 2008. These are the guys that are saying these things, right? Not just us, not just some of the other favorite YouTube channels or content creators, but it's people like this. And I'm telling you, man, the shift is here and you're starting to see it, right? 2-3 years ago, it was like, we can't really tie Bitcoin's price action to what actually happened on this end. Fed printed, or not Fed printed, but global tensions and Bitcoin didn't really do anything. Banks went under, Bitcoin really didn't do anything. But just look over the last 1.5 to 2 years, you see how inversely Bitcoin moves to things like global tensions, things like banks. I don't know, it's not every day that banks collapse, but when Silicon Valley Bank went down, right? They needed to be saved. Bitcoin rallied. When inflation numbers come out, Bitcoin rallies. And so we're like, it's so unique because we're literally living it in real time, and we won't truly understand the impact of what we're currently going through until maybe 10 years from now when we look back and say, holy shit, like we were there when it was literally happening, right? When the foundation was being built from the ground up, we were at the ground zero level. And so that's where we're at, and it's exciting, man. So with that being said, you should go celebrate and buy some Bitcoin. Speaking of celebrating, let's celebrate Sonic. Sonic Labs has become the first project to make U.S. residents eligible for their S token airdrop. This is posted by Coin Bureau. This is a major milestone given most other projects have been blocking U.S. users. Why, you might ask? I think the answer is very obvious. We're definitely more pro-crypto here, and so than we were before. So this is pretty big. Yeah. I got to get your opinion on this, man. Where'd you go, by the way?
I was downloading the app.
You're such an idiot.
What?
All right, give me like a 1 minute. What do you think about
Dude, it says game changer. You know, I am going to scrap my Trust wallet.
Okay.
I'm not going to.
Never mind. We're actually going to move on, Rob. Yeah.
Tangent is too late.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that's crazy.
That's it, bro.
We're going to move on. I ended a poll. So I said, which alt would you rather hold? Now, I know Bitcoin's not an alt. I guess I should have said crypto. And this was a way for me to gauge kind of people's risk tolerance now. What crypto would you rather hold for the next 3 months? 44% of you said Bitcoin, 32% said XRP, and 23% said Solana. I'm kind of surprised at the breakdown. I thought it would be more BTC, but hey, yeah, I'd rather hold Bitcoin. That's my thing, especially with all the stuff we talked about with global tensions. Nothing wrong with Solana or XRP, but
I'm going XRP all day, baby.
Of course you are.
Got to, man.
Speaking, did you see Vitalik has been hitting the gym? Also got a neck tattoo. Ethereum, you see that? My dude he's looking solid right now, man. Those look like Destroyer from the chat. Minus the rainbows and the little UFO thing.
Destroyer from the chat.
Right? I mean, so if you remove the face, right? And my boy Destroyer over here, this is like what his arms and shoulders look like.
Destroyer got bigger shoulders than this dude does.
You think so? Yeah.
Shoulders.
Basketball shoulders.
Yeah.
They don't call him Destroyer for nothing. You know what I'm saying? All right. I mentioned yesterday, Patreon members, congrats to you. We're sitting on a 20x right now. We can add it to the list of virtual agents that launched. This was asynchronous. Async. I put it in Patreon yesterday. So if you're part of our Patreon, again, congrats. I am currently still holding. I've not sold any. And so I'm still holding this. I think this is backed by NVIDIA Inceptions program. It's backed by Google Startups. It's got a docs team. And it's very unique. And it's sitting at 4 million. And we got in at 226,000 market cap. So again, solid 20x. I think this thing could potentially get up to $8 to $12 million. And that's where I'll be looking to cash out for, what is that? That's not a 100x. That's a 50x. Completely happy with a 50x when everything's kind of flat. So if you want to make some money, join our Patreon. That's where all the calls are going out.
Excuse me, do you like making money? Because if you don't, why are you watching this?
Wow.
If you are watching this and you like to make money, well, pay attention. We're giving you for a lot of badass calls over here on Patreon. So come join the club.
There's another one, Patreon members. There's another one that goes live soon. And so if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I think that should be another big cooker as well. But yeah, just trying to stay alive, make some extra money. Okay, what do I want to talk about next? We already talked about that. We showed Vitalik. Let's talk about this. This was news. I know there was talks about this, but it's official. Robinhood has officially acquired Bitstamp, gaining 500,000 crypto users and 95 million revenue stream. This is just another indication that these companies, legacy companies, are going all in on crypto. And so you're sitting there and you look at your portfolio down 10% and you want to cry and throw a fit and sell. Remember, the largest institutions, the whales, they're accumulating. So you're just giving them cheaper coins. Don't do it. Don't do it. Any commentary here? No? Perfect. Let's talk about Ripple. Just kidding. Do you have anything to say?
I genuinely believe this is the ramping up for perpetual trades, for futures trading.
Oh, yeah.
Perp trading. This is 100%. There is a tsunami coming. This is a speculation. So this is just my thinking cap here. With a lot of little crumbs of evidence around. A lot of connected people have been talking, and it's coming. U.S.
It's going to be a free-for-all.
When we go into full-scale trading, U.S., all you need to do
600x
is
leverage.
all you need to do is the same thing you do for Coinbase. Snap a photo of your ID, say, cool, yeah, yep, that's me, awesome. Verified, boom. You can just trade all day, whatever leverage you want.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think they'll be allowed derivatives trading platforms to do, obviously if they're in the U.S., there's no VPN, but do you think they'll be allowed to do no KYC? Or do you think that's
no? I think it's just part of U.S. exchange. They're gonna want to. U.S. is gonna want to take their tax cut. That's literally all.
So then, Rob, the question then becomes: does that give an advantage to the likes of Coinbase, Kraken, Crypto.com because they already have the users that are KYC'd and they can just say, "Hey, there's no extra stuff."
If you've never used Robinhood, you got to do the same with Robinhood.
True.
Robinhood. So if Robinhood decides, hey, we want to have derivatives trading,
they will.
Then at that point, you already got a Robinhood account. All you got to do is just be like, trade crypto. Boom.
200x leverage.
Let's
Boom.
go. And 200x users in the U.S. That's what you're going to get.
I'm telling you guys, the U.S. is the apple of every company's eye, the U.S. market.
Let me tell you.
Tell me.
When you look at any sporting event, whether it's Formula One, it's UFC, there is Bybit logos everywhere. There's other exchanges, OKX. There's all these different exchanges.
Look at Formula One, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's all these different exchanges that have a massive marketing budget, and that is from the users that are outside the U.S. Now, there are a lot of VPN users, perhaps here in this room, but...
Wait, what?
There are a lot
of VPN user in your room? I don't use a VPN. You know why? Because I got BuyDefi. Shout out to BuyDefi. Love those guys, man. If you don't have an account with BuyDefi, I highly recommend you go sign up for one. If you sign up for one and you deposit $100, you can get access to the trading channel, which, by the way, you won't get just trade calls from me and our team, but you also get trade calls from the top traders on the BuyDefi platform, and it's no VPN, no KYC. So, links in the description. Sorry, I had to plug them real quick. Oh, yeah, I like those guys, man. Yeah, they're dope. I like BuyDefi.
But the tsunami's coming. These traders are going to sign up. They're going to first sign up with Coinbase and all that. And what we're seeing from the marketing budget that we see on all these sports franchises and just out and about. I mean, you see them on YouTube all the time for channel sponsors. That money is going to 10x, man. And people, the U.S. market's going to go hog wild. They're going to go hog wild, bro. That's a Virginia thing.
Virginia?
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll move on then. I don't know what the hell that was, but yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's talk about XRP. This is massive. Germany's DZ Bank chooses Ripple Now, DZ Bank, if you're not familiar, because I wasn't familiar, is Germany's second largest bank with 350 billion euros in assets, has adopted Ripple's digital asset custody platform, its first full-scale rollout in Europe. Enabled by Germany's new securities law, insiders call it CBDC infrastructure disguised as custody. Now, be it whether you like CBDCs or not, I am a big opponent, not proponent. I hate CBDCs. I hate the idea of CBDCs. So it is what it is, but this is going to be Ripple XRP facilitating what they're doing there in Germany. And so if you're an XRP holder, this is really, really good news. If you're looking at it strictly from a price go up perspective and adoption. And you know what I feel like? I feel like more and more, and maybe some people do view Ripple as a bank. I think Ripple is becoming a bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
custody,
that's what we were talking about
payments,
yesterday
yeah.
when we were talking about the custody side of XRP.
Before I forget, I want to shout out to Tradefly. We actually he was down in the studio with Alex O last week. Super cool guy. So we need to get him on the show. I'll reach out to you, brother. We'll get you on the show. Rob, thoughts on this here? And
Yeah, the banking sector's coming on board.
do you view XRP as a bank? Ripple as a bank?
They're better than a bank. I'm not trying to be funny, but like, you know, what we're seeing is the banks are taking time offering crypto services, right? And with due reason, because the banks historically have been blacklisted by the federal government, by politicians. And so we've had choke point 1.0, 2.0, and banks are just like, we ain't touching crypto. It's dangerous. It's lava. Kind of like the crack on the sidewalk, you know?
Such an idiot.
So, but what we've seen is that the crypto projects that offer crypto services that are likened to a bank and now are offering dollar-based products. Like if you can get a loan with your crypto or stable coins. You can have an account instead of a checking account. You got a hardware wallet or a digital wallet. Instead of using a wire transfer, you're just sending crypto to another native address. And so all the services you get from a bank are being done already through crypto. And you also have your dollar. You have your fiats there. So, you know, your dollars are digital in your checking account, right? You don't have a checking account where you walk into the bank and they say, "Sir, here's your checking account." You open up a door, there's just a bunch of cash laying on the floor. No, it's all digital. It's the same thing going on here with crypto. It's you got your digital fiat stored in a digital place, just like a bank, but there's no they got a head start on everything. They got a head start. So, you know, maybe the banks catch up and knock over XRP.
They're gonna
as far as their dominance as a bank.
They're gonna have to at least try, because that's a lot of money that would be leaving their ecosystem, right?
But the question is, how fast are they going to move? There's no question in my mind that the banks are going to have crypto services and that they're going to try to take crypto users. But my question is how long does it take, like at least for here in the U.S., how long does it take for U.S. banking system to go full crypto and compete against crypto projects? I mean, I would assume 5-10 years down the road. What do you think? You think it's that far?
I don't know.
For banks to go full degen?
When you say full degen, what do you mean?
Like, you can buy crypto on a bank. You will have a native wallet. You can stake in your bank. You can borrow lend and borrow from your bank.
5 years or less. I really do, because it's not banks competing against other banks. It's banks competing against other banks, competing against crypto native exchanges that are already way ahead of them.
Like right now, yeah, my whole point was that the crypto projects have a head start.
Well, the
banks are they're slow.
Yeah, but the proof of concept's already there, right?
But the proof of bottom line profit is already there for the banks, so they don't need to scramble. Bank of America doesn't need to be like, guys, we're going out of business. We need to grab this.
No,
crypto.
but Robin,
but that's why I'm saying that's why they're going to move slow, is because they've already have a methodical structure that has gotten to where they're at. Yeah, they're not going to move fast. I'm not saying they're not going to move at all.
Do you believe in the first to market theory? You have an advantage if you're first to market.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be like that in the banking. Like they're not going to be first to market because the crypto.
No, but when I think of when you say first to market, I think that the exchanges are first to market. The exchanges are the ones that offer all the digital banking services.
In a subset of the banks, though, right? If you just traditional banks, it's first to market. Who's going to do it first? Is it going to be Bank of America that offers these services?
The banks have the users. People, I would say that majority of Americans, adults, have a bank account, right? And so they're already onboarded. So they have a head start. But I mean, I just think that the narrative for crypto is still not that great outside of the crypto circles that we hang out with. Pretty sure you, the viewer, I'm pretty sure you talk crypto still at family dinner. They might look at you like, damn it, this damn cousin of mine made a lot of damn money, but they still won't buy it. They still won't go out and purchase it. They still don't have Bitcoin. They know they know that it's not going anywhere. They know that they can make money on it. And they always go back to the same dumbass ideology. Well, I wish I'd have bought back in 2013. I wish I'd have bought this. Someone told me about this. And, well, I don't know. I'd rather trust something I can hold in my hand, like my wife. Or, it's just.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm good. But my whole point here is that people are slow to move. Banks are slow to move. Traditional money's slow to move. And ones that are being progressive
but have
is
you
the
not,
crypto problem.
Okay, but have you not heard that song, When I Move, You Move? Just like that. One bank moves, the others move. Here we have a question from the chat here. Papa said, who wins in arm wrestling, me or Rob? Well, there's only one way to find out.
You want to do that?
He's scared. The man is scared. Let it be known to the people watching, this man is afraid to arm wrestle me. What? You can make all the faces you want on the camera, bro. Put your arm where the desk is.
I don't understand. Why are you gonna challenge him?
Here we go.
Arm
Rocco
strength?
backing up Robin. Here we
No,
go.
but
Shocker.
find something
what do you have to say, Rocco?
Poker
What did I do
or
wrong
something
now?
else.
Here's
Okay.
a quick take.
Yeah.
Rocco,
Yeah.
take your ass down.
I'm not trying
take
to.
your arm down.
Okay, I'm not challenging
You
Rocco.
probably take
I'm
me down
challenging
too,
you.
man. You ever seen an Italian man open up a Prego can or
I opened
a
the San
jar,
Mar- Hey, I opened the San Marzano can with my teeth.
he just elbow drops the.
At least what David
you,
thinks about it,
You ever see the Popeye where he just squeezes the can and it just.
Yeah. When I order a margarita pizza in the restaurant, I usually fight with the pizza man first.
Oh, got it.
Settle down all the. Yeah.
Like Rocco's got some Chuck Norris stories. Anyways, just all I'm saying is Rob didn't want to do it. So, yeah. But it would definitely be me for sure, Papa. All right, guys, we are done today. Join me and Forrest over at Sistine Trading. We're going to do some TA, break down some charts. That starts in 30 minutes. Also, if you're an H-Bar fan, we have a Hedera video that's actually, I think, live in 10 minutes. And so a lot of content coming from this channel. And then come join the Sistine Trading, me and Forrest. I'm going to do a giveaway. I don't know how, what, when, or why, but I'm doing it on the stream. And, well, you can't win if you're not there. And so either hop over there, subscribe, or if you just stay in this show, it'll automatically redirect you to the Sistine Trading channel. And that's all we got for the show today. With that being said, Rocco. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you. And thanks to Rob for not taking my challenge. We'll see if we'll do it tomorrow. We'll see you guys in the trading show. Until then. Peace.
SINCITY, crypto, everybody know we here for entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in, for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in then you win, we divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David, I spit the game but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite, I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners, special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners, ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors, they gonna teach us mean coins, they polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin, laggers we trade them in, baddies they came to sin, and sinners gon' play to win, screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya, to the moon and to the solar, won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya, it's over when the finger tornado close ya.